Everyone has an opinion the moment you say you ride. Your mother hears hospital sirens. Your friends mention rain, traffic, blind spots, bad drivers, broken bones. A man who has never touched a throttle tells you cars are safer, smarter, more practical. They talk like choosing 2 wheels over 4 is proof you are immature, stubborn, or asking for trouble. And still you chose the bike. You put on the helmet, felt the engine pulse through your chest, rolled into the street, and carried that decision with pride. That choice says more about your psychology than most people realize, and even many riders have never fully understood why. This is not thrill-seeking, this is not a death wish, and this is not carelessness. What is happening is sharper, deeper, and more personal than those lazy labels. People who prefer motorcycles over cars are not reckless. They are reading life through a different nervous system. The approved path is simple. Buy the car, close the windows, turn on climate control, follow the lane assist, sit behind airbags, cup holders, touchscreens, and tinted glass. It is comfortable, protected, and completely predictable. But for some men, that kind of safety starts to feel like slow emotional sedation. Something in you rejects being carried through life inside a padded container. Psychologists use a concept called embodied cognition. The idea that your body is not just carrying your mind around, it is actively shaping how you think, feel, and judge the world. That matters because a motorcycle does not let your body disappear. Your shoulders, hands, knees, eyes, balance, breathing, and reaction time are all part of the ride. In a car, you can become a passenger even while driving. The seat absorbs the road. The cabin hides the weather. The machine does most of the emotional work for you. On a motorcycle, your body becomes part of the decision-making system. You feel speed before the speedometer explains it. You sense danger before language catches up. You trust yourself because you are participating with every nerve. That is not primitive. That is integrated. A rider does not escape his body. He finally comes back to it. There is a man named Daniel, 36, from Melbourne. He sells insurance, which means his whole day is built around avoiding disaster. Flood risk, accident claims, policy wording, liability premiums. 8 hours a day, he explains fear in professional language. Then he drives home in a gray sedan through the same traffic lights, the same radio ads, the same sealed-up silence. But on Sunday mornings, Daniel rides an old Triumph along the coast before most people are awake. He says the strange thing is not the speed. It is the way his body starts speaking again. His palms read the throttle. His knees understand the tank. His eyes look farther down the road than they ever do in a car. Even his breathing changes when he leans through a bend and comes out clean. For those hours, Daniel is not hiding from risk or pretending life is harmless. He is meeting reality directly, with skill and respect. That is why the motorcycle feels honest to him. It gives him back the one thing modern life keeps stealing: physical trust in himself. That experience connects to a psychological idea called agency, the feeling that your actions actually matter, not in theory, not as a motivational quote, in your hands, your wrists, your shoulders, your balance. Modern life quietly removes agency from men. Apps choose the route. Cars correct the lane. Workplaces measure performance through dashboards. Phones interrupt attention before a thought is complete. Even comfort can become a cage when everything is designed to reduce friction, reduce danger, reduce personal involvement. A motorcycle gives friction back. The clutch does not care about excuses. The throttle answers exactly what your wrist asks for. A corner punishes panic and rewards calm. The front brake teaches precision. The rear tire tells the truth before your mind has time to create a story. This is where other psychological forces appear. Proprioception, your body's sense of position. Interoception, your awareness of heartbeat and breathing. And flow, that rare state where attention locks completely onto the present moment. Cars can be operated while the mind wanders. A motorcycle demands participation. It turns attention into survival, skill into confidence, and discipline into self-respect. That is why riding feels mentally clean. The machine does not flatter you, lie to you, or numb you. It gives immediate feedback. And for a man who is tired of being softened by convenience, that feedback feels like proof he is still awake, still capable, still himself. But there is an honest side to this. Not every man has a clean relationship with the bike. Sometimes the ride becomes less about presence and more about anesthesia. The engine gets used to drown out a failing marriage, money pressure, loneliness, anger, or the dull shame of feeling stuck. Psychologists would call this emotional avoidance, using intensity to outrun feelings that need to be faced. The speed becomes a painkiller. The risk becomes proof of toughness. The motorcycle stops being a place of awareness and becomes a place to disappear. That does not make a man weak, it makes him human, but it does matter. Healthy riding sharpens you. Unhealthy riding erases you. One makes you calmer, more disciplined, more alive when you come home. The other makes you need more speed just to feel less pain. The difference is not the bike. The difference is what you are asking the bike to carry. Here is the test. What kind of man comes back after the ride? If you return calmer, sharper, more grateful, more respectful of the machine and your own life, the bike is probably giving you presence. It is helping you reconnect with yourself. But if you return needing more speed, more noise, more risk just to feel normal, then the ride may be covering something deeper. Do you ride to feel alive, or to avoid being still? Do you control the bike, or ask it to carry your pain? The motorcycle is not the problem. The reason you ride decides whether it builds you or drains you. There is another part outsiders miss. Motorcycles create a brotherhood without needing speeches. A rider can pull into a gas station beside a stranger on a different bike, different job, different politics, different life, and still receive the nod. That small movement says, I know the road you chose, I know the risk, I know the discipline. Cars rarely give men that kind of recognition. This matters because many men move through life surrounded by people but still feel unseen. They are valued for what they provide, fix, pay for, or endure. On the bike, and around other riders, they are recognized for something more personal. Courage, skill, taste, restraint, and shared respect. There is a man named Eric, 44, from Texas. He spent years feeling like the quiet provider in every room. Then he joined a Saturday morning riding group. No one asked his salary. No one cared about his title. They noticed how he handled corners, maintained his bike, and showed up on time. After 6 months, Eric said those men knew him more honestly than people he had worked beside for years. Not loudly, not sentimentally, but accurately. Eric's story points to a psychological concept called identity restoration. It means recovering the parts of yourself that were buried under roles, routines, and expectations. Husband, employee, father, provider, problem solver, strong one, useful one, reliable one. Those roles can be honorable, but they can also become so loud that a man forgets the person underneath them. A motorcycle cuts through that noise because it does not care what anyone calls you. The road does not applaud your image. The engine does not respect your excuses. The bike only responds to the real you. Your focus, patience, confidence, fear, timing, judgment, and discipline. That is why riding can strengthen self-awareness. It reminds a man what he values when nobody is grading him, needing him, or watching him perform. He learns whether he is calm under pressure, whether he respects limits, whether he still has appetite for life. And that clarity matters. A man who knows himself makes cleaner decisions, carries stress differently, and stops confusing approval with identity. On the bike, he is not selling a version of himself. When the unnecessary falls away, the rider meets the man who is still there all along. So yes, the warnings matter. The people who tell you to choose the car are not always cowards or critics. Sometimes they are parents, wives, brothers, friends, people who imagine one bad driver, one wet corner, one mistake that cannot be taken back. And they are right about the danger. A motorcycle gives less protection. There is no steel cage, no crumple zone, no illusion that the world has been softened for you. But their warning measures only one kind of risk. It measures the risk of riding, not the risk of never feeling fully awake. It measures broken bones, not a numbed spirit. It measures safety, but not the cost of becoming too controlled to recognize yourself. Every meaningful life requires a trade. Comfort asks you to stay protected. Freedom asks you to participate. That is what people miss when they call riders reckless. You heard the warnings. You understood the danger. But you also understood another danger. Becoming so insulated, predictable, and obedient to safety that your own life stops touching you. So when you pull the helmet over your head, tighten the strap, turn the key and feel the engine wake beneath you, that is not just transportation. It is a declaration. You are choosing attention over numbness, discipline over comfort, presence over passive existence. Not foolish, not careless, not lost. A man who still wants to feel his life while he is living it fully and honestly on his own terms. If this video put words to something you have felt for years, subscribe for more psychology like this. And in the comments, tell us the moment you chose the bike even when people told you not to. Was it your first ride, your first fall,